Hello, this is Johnny G with Out is the New In podcast. You have a purpose. Today, I'll be talking with Barbara Nicholson-Brown, and she's an amazing human being. She has put together a mental health newspaper called Together AZ, and I'm very excited to have the opportunity to listen to her story.
And then another way I give back besides working with women is I have recently become a baby cuddler for Hushabye Nursery.
I saw that.
Oh, you did?
I love that. So tell us, what is
Well,
that all about?
Hushabye
What are you doing?
holding
Yeah.
newborns
That.
are addicted, born addicted,
Right.
and they're going through a detox period.
Right. And they need that love.
And
That
I do not
connection.
have children, and so this is all real new, but I love babies, and I love what they're doing. It's hushabyenursery.org. They're in Phoenix. They have 12 rooms. It's beautiful, nurses, the woman that started it, Tara, was a nurse for many, many years, pediatric nurse, I believe, for many, many years. And she saw that, when these babies are born, they're not getting constant attention because they can't if they're in the NICU or whatever in the hospital. And so I don't know all the details of how the moms get in and the babies, but I've done it 4 times so far, and I'm stepping in slowly. But it's amazing.
I love it. I love that you're doing
Last
that.
week I held a 4-pound, 8-ounce baby. And she, calmed down, and I just had her in my arms for a good almost hour, and we just rocked, and I'm going, what am I doing?
Powerful.
It's pure. They're so pure. It's life at the beginning.
Absolutely.
I didn't experience that before.
Right.
So and they're beautiful, and yeah, they're struggling and they're jittery and antsy, and you hold them really tight. And, it's the first time I did it was about a month ago, and I was like, oh my God, what if I break this kid? And, they don't break. There are a lot of help, a lot of volunteers, and just a great staff of people, and there's just something about it.
Yeah.
Well, you're a dad,
Yeah.
that little face. They're.
Yeah. And what a way to give back, right? To such an amazing cause.
Oh, it's just warms my heart.
Yeah.
It's sad.
That's your new vice.
Babies.
Yeah.
Especially when people say, "Oh, are you a grandmother?" No, I'm not. I just have 12 kids. No. I, it was a little scary. I'm getting more comfortable at it. And they have a lot of volunteers, and they're always looking for volunteers if, anybody's interested in maybe seeing, and it's very thorough, and you have to go through a lot of training and things like that, but these are little innocent beings coming into the world that didn't choose this.
Right. You are exactly right. Yeah.
And there's no judgment there. It's not, just want to get them to where they're ready to go home.
Right.
And I noticed, because I was afraid to hug this one little one last week, and they said, no, she just tight. And everybody loves a hug.
Right. Right. And that's why when the pandemic occurred and lockdowns occurred and all of that, I mean, we are human beings and we need that human interaction. And it affected so many people within the mental health arena.
It did.
Yep.
And there's still after effects.
Absolutely.
And it's still around. It's not as prevalent, but
Right.
it's a different world now.
I would agree.
It's kind of, do I travel? Do I go on a plane? Do I want to be in a room? It's, I got it last year. It wasn't that bad, but a lot of losses and isolation. And the worst thing for an addict or alcoholic is to be isolated, because that's when you're in this neighborhood.
Right. Yeah.
But not being able to see your friends or go out, do things, I remember I met one of my friends when it first, in the beginnings of it, and we met at a park, and she was way across on a bench, and I was way over here on a bench, and we're wearing masks, and I was like, what are we doing?
Right.
So the biggest takeaway I could say is, like, I got to be grateful. I have to stay in gratitude. I have to be able to feel comfortable enough to share my story with someone. Thank you for letting me share it with you. I'm always willing to help someone. Between you and I, we know a lot of people as resources.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody needs help, because they could contact you or me or a lot of people. My website's togetheraz.com, and there's a lot of resources there. It's, I think it was yesterday or the day before I heard that there's a new drug now. It's fentanyl and something else, and it's called, I don't know, kick something. I don't know what it's called. Maybe not kick. So it's a combination.
Okay.
It's supposedly more lethal than just,
Yeah, that's just what we need. So unfortunate.
I don't want to go on that soapbox, but so many young people.
Yes. Access is way too easy now.
Well, yeah. TikTok or what is that? All that, they can pin where you are and deliver it to your door or your backyard or the street corner.
Right.
Snapchat or something. I think that, I'm not all that hip with it, but I know that it's there. I know that it happens, and I know it happens in Scottsdale and Phoenix.
Everywhere.
It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as people that are just plain old alcoholics like me, I would consider myself that. There's still people driving drunk.
Mm-hmm. There are.
And, I guess the one blessing of me living in New York was I didn't have a car. I could barely walk.
Right.
But I didn't have a car. Thank God.
Yep.
We're invincible. I was invincible. And, and also what it does, the longer that people use and stuff, like a lot of, for my husband, he was a maintenance drinker, so when he woke up, I didn't know him then, but he said he would shake so bad he had to drink vodka or something to be able to brush his teeth.
Mm.
All that takes a toll on your body.
Oh, absolutely.
And hits you later on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
With heart disease and other things. So,
sure.
I guess we think we're having fun when we're doing it because our inhibitions are shut down and we're just wild and crazy, but
we don't think of the ramifications down
the
road.
No, the consequences.
Right.
Thank God. I mean, I never had a DUI, and I never was in jail. Yet. Got to say yet. They told me that. Always say yet. Because you don't know. But, I'm sober today.
Yep.
Grateful. I'm more grateful today than I was yesterday.
I love that. It's awesome.
So, anything else you want to know?
Yes.
What?
What For people out there that are experiencing what you had in your past, what words of encouragement would you provide? Because everybody's different.
Well, I think the hardest thing to do is to say I need help
Absolutely.
or help me, 2 words.
And be willing to truly accept what that help is.
At least be open
Right.
to listening to a suggestion
Right.
from someone other than yourself.
Right.
And it's very hard to ask for help because I think as people we want to believe that we're okay, we're fine, it depends. But admitting, if I had a diabetic or some kind of situation like that, I don't think I would be as afraid to ask for help because it affects a lot of people. And you're not,
Sure, there's a different stigma, right?
yeah, you're not shamed about it. Like,
Right.
my sugar levels are up or something.
Sure.
But when you say you have a addiction, I think it's getting better. Depends on who you ask or talk to. But if someone suggests, someone's thinking, if you think you have a problem, you probably do. If you have to really, are you lying? Are you, out of your mind? Are you irresponsible? Are you not accountable? What sobriety did for me was made me accountable.
Sure. And not only just to yourself.
No, to other people, to
Mhm.
people I worked with, to my family, to my husband, to my job. I show up when I say I'm going to be there. I don't lie
Right.
anymore. I can look people in the eye. And I can, just share who I am, be who I am.
Right.
I'm not going to be liked by everybody. I'm not going to like everybody. It's just the way it is. And I kind of don't care anymore, If you're in my life, you're in my life.
Right.
But if you slam the door in my face and don't want to be in it, well then, all right. And those are tough little lessons, like,
Right.
to learn. But, a door opens, a door closes.
Yeah.
I read somewhere, if a door closes, keep your hand off the handle.
I like that.
Like,
Yeah.
don't try to open it.
Right.
It's
right.
not gonna.
Yeah. There's a reason it's closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might reopen, but it might
Sure.
open somewhere else and be
Right.
better. I don't
Right.
know.
Right.
We're all trying to figure this thing out here,
Right.
right?
When one door closes, the hope is one door opens.
It does because nothing stays still.
Constant movement
Yeah.
and learning.
But I don't think that way 100% of the time.
Sure.
I get locked into my...
We're creatures of habit.
Well, yeah, and then, like I project what's going to happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or I fear what might happen. I have a fear of getting on the freeways lately, but, there's a lot of crazy drivers. It's like, I was glad I wasn't on the 60 today.
Yeah.
But, if you're not willing, maybe just I'm trying to think of a good way to say this. How bad do you want to feel before you want to feel better?
Mm.
How you can hit your bottom anywhere.
Sure. It's different for everybody.
I've heard like you can get off the elevator on any floor, and it's all kind of cute stuff you hear, but I think maybe even just doing some research and maybe taking the 20 questions or, maybe trying to find somebody in your life that is in recovery, which probably I think everybody knows somebody in recovery because we're a force and we're also not hiding behind the curtains anymore. And I think that's all
Right.
positive.
Right, because everybody in this arena needs to change that stigma, right?
And it's, it's happening.
It is. Slowly but surely. Right, we need to talk about mental health.
We do. And I think it's great what Brandon's doing with mental health. There's a lot of, there was a study came out the other day, the CDC study about teen girls and the mental health and the depression and suicide.
Right,
A lot of it started around the pandemic. A lot of it is, it's hard being a teenager. It's hard being a teenage girl. It's hard being a teenage boy.
right,
It's hard being bullied.
right.
Or comparing yourself to magazine models. And that's where the eating disorders and all it's
Sure.
like, it's crazy.
Right. And then I look and think about my son and what his mental health was when he came out, right? And being a part of the LGBTQ community and everybody that I've met that have a story and how it affected their mental health, when they chose to come out or they haven't because they're not at that point in a safe space to do that, right? With parents, with family. So, mental health truly needs to be discussed so much more. And, just in the past 10 years, 15 years, our resources have become so much better and that can truly benefit people that are going through something.
Yeah, everybody's going through something somehow.
Absolutely. Right? You talk about trauma, right? It could be one big trauma event or it could be numerous small trauma events, but they're all going to compound on each other. And trauma causes ancillary things to happen, right? With alcohol and drugs or whatever it is.
Yeah, one of my best friends took his life 4 years ago. And it's still devastating.
Yep.
You can't judge a book by its cover. I didn't know. He didn't share it. You struggle alone, and when you don't ask for help or whatever the demons, I don't know. It's a big loss when that happens, and
Absolutely it is.
I don't judge it, but it was devastating for a lot of people. And because you don't know why, and you say, oh, I would have helped, or could have got you help, or could have gotten you somewhere, or evaluated or something, talk about it.
Right.
But it's so, you hear about it a lot.
Yep. The percentages are definitely up there.
I'll never understand it.
Right.
I don't want to ever be in that place.
You want to be that person that at least someone can reach out to have that conversation. Just
Yeah,
listen, right?
And it was weird because I talked to him the day that it happened. And I had sensed something over the phone, but I didn't know what it was. You don't know. You're not thinking, oh, I wonder if this is going to happen today.
Right. Yep.
And I learned something at a networking event that Aurora said, because it was about suicide. She said, don't say committed. They're trying to change the wording.
Mm-hmm.
Took his life, completed, and it's softer, So I try to do that if I bring his story up. Be took his life. Just like they are trying to change the wording with substance abuse, and it should be use.
Mm-hmm.
Because abuse sounds abusive.
Right.
It is. It's abusive.
Has like a negative
It
connotation.
is. It does.
Yeah.
It's almost abusive, the word abuse.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of things happening, and I think, I wonder if everybody that is in the arena of recovery and mental health awareness, if we all got together, like everybody in the U.S., I bet it would be a huge.
Oh.
Could you imagine how many people?
I can't imagine.
I can't either.
It would be.
It would be quite a convention.
Lot. It would. Yes, of like-minded people,
Yeah,
all giving back
yeah,
to a community that they were a part of,
yeah.
which is so awesome.
Maybe we're, slowly healing. All of us. We're all healing.
Yeah, and I listened to your story, and I picked up that you coming out here from New York was absolutely your purpose. It's exactly what was supposed to happen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not at the time.
No. I didn't plan on staying either. Mm-hmm. But I also didn't know where I was going to go if I left.
Sure. You had 90 days to figure that out.
Oh, yeah. Newly sober, 90 days trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank goodness. I'm grateful for my parents. They were a safety net.
Absolutely. Even though you may have not seen it that way.
Well, they weren't jumping for joy when I got there. Or here.
Right. And look where you are now. Did you ever think you'd be here with a newspaper?
I never
giving
thought.
back to little babies.
No, I never did. I never thought past my next drink.
Right. Yeah.
I never did.
Yeah. And you're doing amazing things
No,
here in the
thank
community.
you. So are you.
Thank
Look what
you.
you're doing.
I appreciate that very much.
Go to a networking event, and there you are. And now here we are.
I think that was one of my first ones ever that I was attending, and I met you.
Yeah.
Yep.
See?
Yeah. Look at that door opened.
That's right.
Well, Barbara, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, I love this. This was awesome. Thank you
Good.
so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for doing this. This is good.
Absolutely.
Let's get more people.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's change the world. Let's heal the world,
I
okay?
love that. I
That's
love it.
it.
Yep.
Everybody has a hand
one
in recovery.
podcast at a time, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because everybody has a hand in it.
Yes.
We all do.
Oh, completely.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.